It is now official. CNN projects that Donald Trump has been elected president, defeating Vice President Kamala Harris and making a political comeback unlike any in modern American politics.
Is USA's new president really going to change everything? 2024 analysis. When U.S. President Joe Biden walked through Kyiv in February 2023 on a surprise visit to show solidarity with Volodymyr Zelensky, his Ukrainian counterpart, air sirens were wailing. "I felt something more strongly than ever before," he later recalled. America is a beacon to the world. So in this video, we will discuss, is USA's new president really going to change everything? 2024 analysis. But before starting the video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. The world now waits to see who takes charge of this self-styled beacon after Americans make their choice in next week's presidential election. Will Kamala Harris carry on in Biden's footsteps with her conviction that in these unsettled times, it is clear America cannot retreat? Or will it be Donald Trump with his hope that Americanism, not globalism, will lead the way? We live in a world where the value of U.S. global influence is under question. Regional powers are going their own way, autocratic regimes are making their own alliances, and the devastating wars in Gaza, Ukraine, and elsewhere are raising uncomfortable questions about the value of Washington's role. But America matters by dint of its economic and military strength and its major role in many alliances. Military might. I cannot sugarcoat these warnings, says Rose Gottemoeller, NATO's former Deputy Secretary General. Donald Trump is Europe's nightmare, with echoes of his threat to withdraw from NATO in everyone's ears. Washington's defense spending amounts to 2/3 of the military budgets of NATO's 31 other members. Beyond NATO, the U.S. spends more on its military than the next 10 countries combined, including China and Russia. Trump boasts he's playing hardball to force other NATO countries to meet their spending targets, which is 2% of their GDP. Only 23 of the member nations have hit this target in 2024, but his erratic statements still jar. If Harris wins, Ms. Gottemoeller believes NATO will no doubt be in good Washington hands. But she has a warning there too. She will be ready to continue working with NATO and the European Union to achieve victory in Ukraine, but she will not back off on spending pressure on Europe. The peacemaker. The next U.S. president will have to work in a world confronting its greatest risk of major power confrontation since the Cold War. The U.S. remains the most consequential international actor in matters of peace and security. Comfort Arrow, president and CEO of the International Crisis Group, tells me. She adds a caveat, but its power to help resolve conflicts is diminished. Wars are becoming ever harder to end. Deadly conflict is becoming more intractable, with big power competition accelerating and middle powers on the rise, is how N's Arrow describes the landscape. Wars like Ukraine pull in multiple powers, and conflagrations such as Sudan pit regional players with competing interests against each other, and some more invested in war than in peace. On Ukraine, Trump never hides his admiration for strawmen like Russia's Vladimir Putin. He's made it clear he wants to end the war in Ukraine, and with it the U.S.'s hefty military and financial support. "I'll get out. We gotta get out," he insisted in a recent rally. Business with Beijing. The biggest shock to the global economy for decades. That's the view of leading China scholar Rana Mitter regarding Trump's proposed 60% tariffs on all imported Chinese goods. Imposing steep costs on China and many other trading partners has been one of Trump's most persistent threats in his America First approach. But Trump also lauds what he sees as his own strong personal connection with President Xi Jinping. He told the Wall Street Journal's editorial board he wouldn't have to use military force if Beijing moved to blockade Taiwan because the Chinese leader. But both leading Republicans and Democrats are hawkish. Both see Beijing as being bent on trying to eclipse America as the most consequential power. But Mr. Mitter, a British historian who holds the St. Lee Chair in U.S.-Asia Relations at Harvard's Kennedy School, sees some differences. With N's Harris, he says, relations would likely develop in a linear fashion from where they are now. If Trump wins, it's a more fluid scenario. For example, on Taiwan, Mr. Mitter points to Trump's ambivalence about whether he would come to the defense of an island far from America. Climate crisis. The U.S. election is hugely consequential, not just for its citizens, but for the whole world because of the pressing imperative of the climate and nature crisis, says Mary Robinson, chair of the Elders, a group of world leaders founded by Nelson Mandela and former President of Ireland and UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. However, Ems Robinson believes Trump cannot stop the momentum now gathering steam. He cannot halt the U.S. energy transition and roll back the billions of dollars in green subsidies. Nor can he stop the indefatigable non-federal climate movement. She also urged Harris, who still hasn't fleshed out her own stance, to step up to show leadership, build on the momentum of recent years, and spur other major emitters to pick up the pace. Thank you, guys, for watching. If you want more videos like this, make sure to like the video and hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.